Okay, you're telling your followers that you're live. I'm reading what's on the screen here, Miss Guest. Okay. Okay. How's everybody? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna wave. Okay. Hi. So I have my Instagram over here, and I'm looking at all of you here in Facebook. So I'm so glad to be here. I have been traveling through the sky. It's hard on you. I'm telling you. I don't know what's going on in the air up there, but you definitely do not want to be flying if you don't have to. And so I definitely took a whole day to have to recuperate over that flight. It was supposed to be a short flight, but it felt very heavy. So, see this? You don't have to look at the brand name. I'll ice that out, but this elderberry. We have some people, it depends on where you are, local, in Atlanta, some other places, Detroit, that make this elderberry tea. Mother Nature has provided it for us in our environment, and now the crops are available. The berries are available now. If you can get some, please make yourself some. It's very simple to do with clean water, etc. Just boil them just a little bit, and then let them cover it, and then let them steep for about 4 to 6 hours. It's quite pungent, so you may want to use a little honey or maple syrup. But this is such a builder and strengthener for the immune system, and especially for the upper respiratory tract. So elderberry, okay, you want to get that for yourself. Now, everybody knows that this is the global reset, okay? Global reset. And you want to be prepared for the global reset, because anything can happen now at any time, and you want to be able to have a heating source, a light source, a toilet, okay, and how to protect yourself from radiation. I don't have my little cap here, but I have a special little cap that I wear on my head at night to interfere with the Wi-Fi going through my nervous system, my brain especially, and I have special sheets here. This is my little sheet. Ooh, I don't know what that was. Okay, when all of you can get time to start supporting the people that support you, this will be a smooth production because I won't have to do everything. You know, Oprah Winfrey, for example, she has, what, 26 people that support her in making just the cover of her magazine every month. 26 people to do one cover. So she has over 59 people that help her get the magazine together every month. And so you have to understand that when people are really helping you, it is a team effort, not just one person or two people. And so therefore, when it's two people, I don't mind, but it's just two people of us that are putting this together. So all of you all over the United States, internationally, can get the information. But you have to ask, if she's giving life-supporting information, why does she only have two people that are helping her? Why is that? But the people who basically are just, they're doing things that definitely are not going to help you through the next day, why do they get 1,000 people? And that says something about your values. And many of you have to have the challenge to your health before you readjust your values. This gentleman this morning, I don't know if his name was Gus or Guy, but he's a football player. Really big, hefty man. And the C-19 COVID just took him down to the bed. I mean, he was like between the mattress springs. And he had to be in CCU, etc. He was saying that they wouldn't even allow him to be admitted to the hospital until he had to even exaggerate his symptoms. He said he went there 3 times, and they sent him home twice, and he said he wasn't going back. He needed help. So he was finally able to get there. And I tell you, when they show the picture of him, how he looked in intensive care, he was in really bad shape. And again, he was real hefty. Well, now they had him on CNN, so if you can get the replay, listen to what he's saying, because he was saying that if he hadn't have been in great shape, if he hadn't have had all the muscle mass, etc., that he would have probably died. He would have probably lost his body. So they had told him a couple of times that he probably wouldn't make it, but of course, who determines your life? You do. You do. Never forget this. You do. I don't care how bad, grave things look, etc. I don't care if you don't even recognize yourself. If you want to be here, You have to say yes. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. They're just looking outward. But you inside here, remember, you have to remember that the God of all things is as close to you as your aorta. Now, if you don't know what your aorta is, I want you to go look it up. aorta. That's the name of this very important structure in your body. It is in the middle of your body and is responsible for everything else. Your God is close to you as your aorta. Do not think that it's out here somewhere or next door. Your God is you, inside of you. And when you can communicate with you, your whole world will change based on how you decree. Most people don't even know that their God is right inside of them because it's them. So they waste time talking to anybody and everybody else except themselves that have absolute power. So you got to get this information straightened out in your head so that you can start drawing your power to where it always has been within you. So the story goes, they told him a couple of times, this is the gentleman now, this football player that should have died from COVID. And he said, of course, he's not doing that. He lost a lot of muscle mass. He became so weakened that he even exclaimed that he has to learn how to walk. He has to learn how to, this is a person who's been running up and down the gridiron, catching balls in the air, everything. And now he has to learn how to walk again. He says that he just had to learn how to walk. He's not stable on his feet, but he is so glad to still have a relationship with his body. He's communicating with his body. It's responding to him, and he is so glad. Now, this is what he did on the news. Now, pay attention. This is what he did on the news. He asked that if there's been anyone or any person that felt slighted by him or had issues with him, or that they felt he initiated anything that was not pleasant in their life, that he asked for forgiveness. He said, please pardon me, forgiveness, etc. Forgive me. He says, because I didn't want to slight anybody, create any issues or whatever else, etc. And so the newscaster, the interviewer said, well, was it somebody specific that you were speaking to? And he said, no, it didn't have to be anybody. People can decide whatever. But if I, in that experience, was a motivation at all for them not to feel that I 100% support them, then please forgive me. Now, you have to understand, now, he's sitting there giving this interview. He's gotten through the worst of it with COVID, but he transformed himself. See, these disorders are to give you the option to transform your ways. It's not about dying. It's about many times we can't figure it out. We can't see it until we recognize that the most important thing that we have in our life is our life. And that all these other things that you had issues about and thought you had issues with other people and stuff, it's just foolishness. And this is what the global reset is about. You either have to reset yourself and get the proper values in your mind, in your heart, and act accordingly, or you'll have another round of incarnation to go through. And yeah, I'm going to tell you that. It's real. See, you can't die. I keep telling you that. That's why you need to come to our university. You can't die, but you definitely can wait in line for a new body. Wait in line for a new body. There's a whole movie out about that. Carbon something. Okay, it comes on Hulu. No, comes on Netflix. Okay, and yeah, it's about people who constantly don't get it, so they have to recycle over and over and over again. Oh, it's really fascinating. Okay, so you need to balance your brain so that you can stay up on these things. They're showing us everything and how it works. But if we're addicted to things, we got to go back in the past because we want to see this program we've seen 4,000 times and we still want to see it again. You're missing out what you need to know right now for your future. Don't waste your time. If you've enjoyed it, you were present, give thanks and move on. Do not hang around in the past. Don't do that. That means that you're addicted to it or either you didn't learn the lesson. So if you feel you have to go back, pay attention, be present. Learn the lesson, extract the wisdom so you can go forward. Now, what helps you do that? Our brain balancing program. We are asking you to please balance your brain. This is the problem. You can't get it because you don't have access to all of this in here. You need to have access to the entire right and left hemisphere of the brain. It's a wonderful thing when you can use right and left and right side of your body equally. Not have to constantly cross over because you only have control over half of your body. You weren't built that way. Yes, you weren't built that way to be right-handed or left-handed. Well, how do I know? Well, pay attention, because if you only needed a right hand, trust me, the body would not waste energy keeping the left hand or the foot or the left side of your body if you didn't need it. So we have to stop being illiterate in being able to read nature and to see that the signatures of everything are significant for their greatest existence. And that's for you. So for your greatest existence, you got to use the right hand, the left hand, the right eye, the left eye, the whole brain. And it's really simple. All you have to do is do what? Build it again. It's been traumatized. Anytime you said no to an experience, every time you felt hurt, every time you felt something wasn't fair, that was trauma to your brain, because the brain knows better. There's no experience that you can't master. There's no experience that doesn't have wisdom for you to be a greater person. So when you keep saying no, 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 and poor, poor me, that victim mess, you are damaging your nervous system. So what do? Two things. Balance the brain and learn the laws of the universe. Okay? So today I'm going to end this quickly. I know you got things to do. 3 things I want you to understand. 1 is that you're here to live, not die. And so if you have intense experiences, it's because they are lessons for you to learn. The fastest way to learn them is to make sure you have full brain capacity to learn. Balance your brain so you can get right or left hemisphere interaction so that all this wonderful knowledge and beauty on this planet is accessible by you. Thirdly, you have to make sure that you prepare yourself for this time. This is the global reset. So you have to make sure that you have the proper vitamins and minerals where you live, that you know how to keep yourself dry, warm, etc. We were just doing a discussion yesterday on generators. You need to have a generator. Okay, if the toilets don't work, what are you going to do? Buy the Ready and Able manual. It tells you how to deal with all that living in the inner city. We got all kind of information on what happens if you live in the woods, how you can do everything, but what happens when you're on the 15th floor of a high rise? What do you have available that will allow you to know that you can at least be there a week? Some people, months. They found out with Katrina. They were in their houses for months. They had to go back 3 or 4 times and then recognize these people have been here all this time. Well, how? Because they were prepared. So they weren't out floating in the water asking for somebody to lift them up. They had already, in the top of their house, had done everything needed, food, water, everything. You can do this, but we've got to act like gods now and not victims. Okay? So, balance your brain. When you balance your brain, the resources are available to you, and therefore you've got to now understand that with the balanced brain, information has a whole different value. It's about living. It's not about dying. And so 2 things I didn't show you. Okay? See this sheet right here? It looks really kind of whited out. Okay, can you see it? Okay. These are very important if you are in high radiation areas. Wi-Fi all through your house. You get all these towers around, etc. When you generate your body, you need to have protection that takes and keeps the body vibrating at the same frequency of Earth. Okay, 7.34 hertz. You need to do that. This is a sheet that is woven with copper and silver, and therefore it, based on your grounding mechanism in your house, will allow your tissues to still vibrate at Earth's frequency, not the internet, not the TV, not all this other stuff, but the Earth frequency, so that your tissues can regenerate. This is really important. So we're all changing. Trust me, I've seen so much change, especially in my own tissues. But it's because I'm getting a new body. I'm getting a new body. And so therefore, I got to give up the old one to get the new one. But it's about life now. Understand that. Okay? Ready and Able Manual. Balance your brain. And I will see you on Friday. And definitely come to our meetup on Friday. This is a new meetup that's coming. Yeah, for October. And so come and see what we have available. All right. So I love you very much. Thank you. So thank you, Miss Kim. No, Miss Kess, and everybody. Take care of yourself. And oh, this is a big thing. Oh, how can I forget? This football player, he was so awesome because they said, oh, well, since you were so sick and everything, I just know that you're recommending everybody to get the COVID vaccination. So he said, oh, no, not at all. He said that people really have to do the reading and the studying and make their own decision. He said, I had my experience with COVID, but that's not necessarily for everybody else to get vaccinations. Vaccinations don't cure all these diseases, and we know they don't, okay? Smallpox, people still get smallpox. Polio, some people still get polio. So the vaccinations don't do that. You need to understand your body better. And that's what he said. And I thought that was great because he did not allow the hype to intervene in his own personal experience, to intervene with you using your common sense, your brain. Because what was good for him may not be good for you. This is why you got to balance your brain so you know how to use it and make the decisions for yourself. And I thought he was really a champion because he didn't allow his experience to interfere with your intelligence and what you need to do for you. Okay? Ready and Able. Get your manual for dealing with COVID and lockdowns and everything else in the inner city. Get your brain balanced. I'll see you on Friday here live and on Instagram, and also in our Dr. Jewel Brain Balancing Program seminar every Friday at 6 o'clock. Okay? Bye-bye. Bye. And so we're all changing, but it's because we're becoming more enlivened. Understand that. This is not about death here. This is about being here for 2 or 3 centuries. Join me. I will be. I am here. Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, that's me. Hell yeah. And so is your own people. Sometimes it's your own people, yeah. Hell yeah. What's beef? Hell yeah. That's me. Hell yeah. And so is your own people. Sometimes it's your own people, yo.